What is going on, everybody? Welcome to RGTP. I am your host, Lewis, and with me, as always, is my man, Mamba. And as you can see, he is a Paul Heyman guy.
Of course. Of course. I think everybody's a Paul Heyman person, if we're being honest.
Oh boy, this is not Friday.
No, it's
Friday
not.
will be a different show. Wrestling with everything that's going on is
It's
pretty
great.
damn crazy as we wait for tonight's Dynamite news to see what exactly is happening. Are we getting vacancies? Are we getting interim champions?
Fired.
So on and so forth. God, it's going to be crazy.
But no, you're right. This is other sports, and I have to show you these.
Uh-oh. We have a Sports Illustrated
From when the
Super
Saints
Bowl
won, bro,
championship.
and got the NFC one too when they beat the Vikings in OT, bro. Yeah, found them. Found them. Had to show them, Had to show them. It was kind of weird seeing them again.
It is Wednesday. That means we are talking about the world of sports. And as Mamba alluded to, we will be talking about the NFL. And as you can see, we're going to be breaking down all 32 over-unders for these NFL teams. Give a reason on why we think it's going to be over and under. It should be interesting. We hit on some of these last year.
That
we
damn
totally
0.5,
bombed on
bro.
other ones.
That 0.5, bro. No, it's not right.
It will absolutely be fun to go ahead and dive into. But we will take a quick stop in the land of the NBA as we prepare for that season to eventually tip off. We finally have concluded the saga that is Donovan Mitchell versus the Utah Jazz. And of course, by now, you guys should already know the deal.
Yes.
It's been done. Donovan Mitchell out, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and the 14th overall pick in this year's draft, Oche, and 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps heading over to Utah. And now we are, we're looking at a brand new team. But Mama, before I get into just the rosters of each team, I just want to start with you. How do we feel about the overall deal for Donovan Mitchell? We know that there was Rudy Gobert sort of made the market really tough with the 5 draft picks. Then there was Kevin Durant we need 2 all-stars for Kevin Durant. So the market was fluctuating high and low. But how are we feeling about the overall package that the Jazz were able to land for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, the Jazz are probably disappointed, right? They could have had almost the entire Knicks roster if they went the way they wanted. But you got Colin Sexton, dude, coming off an injury, right? Who has averaged like 20 points every year almost, it feels like. Every time he's on the court, almost said field. Every time he's on the court, the man's a baller, right? Like, he's scoring. He's playing his hardest on defense.
The young boy.
Back in college, he played 3-on-5, right? Like, the man knows when he steps onto the basketball court, some shit's about to happen. That's probably my favorite piece in this draft, or in this trade. My bad.
Yep.
my words.
Hey,
it's been a long day.
We've been in NFL mode,
yeah,
and it's only getting started.
Overall, good deal for both, right? The Jazz got young pieces. They got 5 draft picks, pretty much 6 because Oche hasn't even played a game, and he was just drafted. Same thing with Walker Kessler. They are going to suck so bad, and I am so ready for Colin Sexton to average like 45 points, bro. Cleveland? Cleveland looks like they're ready next year. Like, could they be a surprise team this year? Yes.
Ooh, we'll talk about that on the flip side. Ooh, okay. My thoughts is I don't mind it. I think RJ Barrett probably is the best player that they could have landed if all went through. But obviously there was thoughts of there was going to be Derrick Rose and Obi Toppin, and they didn't really want to move off of RJ.
A lot less money on Sexton.
Yeah,
then you would have to get Barrett.
Yes, but Sexton also did sign an extension, sort of to, he's tied up in there. So that is definitely going to be interesting. I think the package is all right. It was a giant FU to the Knicks. You said it before we went on air. You're just glad he didn't go to the Knicks or Miami.
Anyone but those top teams. Yeah.
What? The Knicks? Top
The
team?
Knicks, it's
team?
just, you know,
You mean top team on this list?
the agenda, the agenda to keep the Knicks out of the
The
playoffs.
Knicks fans have been like Lakers fans over the last few seasons. They're just gonna get everybody.
Almost, I think the best graphic I saw was the almost Knicks. KD,
Kyrie and Zion.
Giannis, Zion, add Donovan to the list. I'm sorry,
Wild.
Knicks. This is not to shit on y'all. This is so close for y'all.
But too bad you guys are, losers yet again. But let's break it down and let's go on the flip side of things before we hype up the Cavs and see what they're doing in a vastly improving Eastern Conference, only getting better over the years, with players coming in and out and players obviously emerging. But we'll start with the Utah Jazz side of things. Total rebuild mode, tearing everything down, moving off of players, but still have a few veteran names to look at: the Mike Conleys, the Jordan Clarksons, and Bogdan Bogdanovic being the main three guys, potentially being linked in trades out of town to potentially go to contenders or potential buyout suitors. But this roster as a whole, I'm just going to read off some names here. We have a young Colin Sexton. We have a THT who's also getting a second shot over from the Lakers. Lauri Markkanen looking for chance number 3. And of course, we have the young Oche being brought in. Stanley Johnson also being landed in the Lakers trade. Brandon Walker Kessler, the defensive player of the year in college, the first round pick for the Jazz, being brought into the fray. And then obviously from the Timberwolves, Malik Beasley being another key piece off the bench. And I'm looking down the list. We still have the veterans, obviously Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gay are also on this roster with, Conley and all these other guys. It is a mix of players. What is the future of the Utah Jazz? We'll take it one step. I'll ask you, what do they look like at the end of this year? Obviously, you don't find them to be very good, but at the end, how are we looking at them in maybe 3 years or so from now with all the trades they've acclimated? They got a steal for Rudy Gobert.
They did. They having, I believe it's 15 first-round picks in the next 7 years.
It is wild.
It is similar to what OKC did when they, traded Russell and Paul, and then what the Rockets did. This is the future of the NBA. When a team just can't get there and they're tired of, we make you there, but we can't get over the hump. And the players are frustrated. They don't want to be there. They're butting heads with each other. Blow it up, right? If your team, it's not up to par with the Warriors, which it's hard to be, with the Celtics, it's hard to be. To be at the top, you need those players. Jason Tatum drafted, Jaylen Brown drafted, Robert Williams drafted. You look at the Warriors, Curry drafted, Clay drafted, Draymond drafted, Wiseman drafted. If you want to build your team for the future, draft picks, bro. And they have 15 of them, and they're unprotected. Almost all of them are unprotected, pretty much. And that's even better and kind of unprecedented in the NBA now, where the team's like, yeah, we'll give you this pick, but we wanted at least top 3 just in case we really do suck. But these teams are like, nah, we think we're going to be good and we're going to get at least one championship out of this.
Yep.
I don't care. Take it. And, you said starting with the Jazz, but Evan Mobley on the Cavs.
Yep.
That man is going to be there until those draft picks are done. So okay, but I don't see Mobley asking out. I don't see that team being ran into the dirt, being terrible. They look, if everything goes right, and that is tough to get.
Remember, Donavan Mitchell just came into the league, and he's already cool. Exactly. So things change quickly.
Man is 25 years old, right?
Things happen fast in the NBA now, so we've got to wait and see.
The thing about the Jazz, though, Rudy Gobert and Donovan, they weren't drafted by the Jazz. They were traded to them, right? So maybe they can't draft well, but they have enough picks to be like, hey, we'll give you 5 picks for that player right there. And they're like, yeah, all right, let's do it, Yeah. The Jazz are set for the future, hopefully. But it's going to be hard to miss on a player when you have that many picks. Eventually, right? You got to get one right.
Eventually. Yeah, I was on the higher side of the Jazz, but if they continue to implode
higher side,
the top 10 seed,
yeah.
it's not even that crazy. I already told you who they could be better than. But if they clean house and they don't keep this core unit together with these veterans and a nice mix of some seasoned players, some fresh young legs.
Yes.
They could be a tough team to play out in the regular season. Not a ton of amazing defense or anything like that, but hey, they got a few different players that can potentially make a difference, which is obviously essentially why teams are calling up Big Conleys and the Jordan Clarksons of the Utah Jazz. So we'll have to wait and see. The draft picks is going to be the key. Them and OKC have like every other draft pick, I feel like, over the next few years.
Pretty much.
So that is going to be a very, very key part. We obviously see Giddey and Chet, and now it looks like OKC might be spiraling down to getting Victor Wembanyama, apparently. So we definitely have to wait to see who wants LeBron in a couple years, because they got Bronny and Bryce coming up, and he wants to play till he's like 40.
With both of them.
You know what I'm saying? So these teams to look at, Utah and OKC with all these damn picks, and obviously all the other magical kids.
God, if LeBron ends up in Utah, bro, and he takes them to the championship, oh my God. And it would make sense. Dwayne Wade, part owner, right? Like, there's a friendship there already.
Oh boy, seeds are being sown. But on the flip side, obviously, of course, we have the newly established young core that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last year, nice run in the regular season, has shown flashes, especially over the last 2 seasons with their draft picks. What they have, some amazing young talent, and they only get better. And now we're looking at a starting lineup of All-Star Darius Garland, All-Star Donovan Mitchell, a third-year player, Isaac Okoro. I want to say it's a season year 3 for him.
Yes.
A rookie,
with the potential.
The almost rookie of the year, Evan Mobley, who had an outstanding season last season, potential all-star, and an all-star, Jarrett Allen at center, and on the bench side of things, some veterans, some championship experience, Kevin Love,
Ricky Rubio. This team is stupid, bro.
And then, of course, the aforementioned 6-man Karis LeVert in order to mix in and provide some relief for this unit. Very interesting. Another team
still got Chetty.
Yes. Osman is still there. Absolutely.
This team,
it is a mix, but how far can they go? Because I'll tell you this: who's guarding James Harden? Who's guarding Kyrie Irving? Who's guarding Zach LaVine? Who's guarding DeRozan? Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid.
That would be Mobley or Allen.
Tyrese Maxey, Hero, Jimmy Butler.
Obviously their defense is the weak.
Where is the perimeter defense coming from?
Mobley's
you're going to roll out 2 6'3" or under point guards.
Don't sleep on Jared Allen at the perimeter. I know he's more in the paint, but Donovan Mitchell joining this team, right?
Unlocks offensive potential through the max, sure.
Yes, but it also allows Donovan Mitchell to not be the reliant number 1 scorer. Right?
He's not locking up nobody.
Yeah, he's not locking anyone up, but he can give a little bit of effort. Like when there are times when you're just standing there, just looking at the ball handler, and then you watch them blow past you. Just a little, hey, I'm here, like tickle him on the way, do something. But
DeJounte Murray.
The defense is obviously the weak point of this team to an extent. Okay? It's not the worst. It's not the worst, but
imagine getting to the finals and you're chasing 7 games of Curry.
Guarding, Mobley and Allen.
On the flip side of things, when you look at teams, Celtics, we got Mitch. We have for Mitchell, Smart or Brown. Obviously, Brogdon's not a slouch either. On the flip
Yes.
side, DeJounte Murray is going to give people fits and problems. PJ Tucker got added on over. We know who Jimmy Butler's
And
about.
Montrez. Montrez is a Sixer now, too. Don't forget about him. Back with Doc Rivers, that man about to be sixth man of the year
they're
again.
going to be, with T. Stiebels are out there. The Drew Holidays are out there. So they're going to have some pieces and some Lonzo and Caruso out there.
You say Lonzo,
there's some
he's
counters for them, but it's not quite the same.
a bit iffy right now.
Biggest suspect is going to be that perimeter defense, and are they going to be able to at least maybe Mobley and Allen will be able to rotate out on and force people off the 3-point line, but it's gonna look a little because Karis LeVert coming off the bench and gonna he's gonna light up some benches, but is he necessarily going to be a defensive stopper? No, not really. Rubio? No, not really. Rondo? So is Okoro just guarding everybody?
Rondo got that,
And, we're looking at Evan Mobley having to be almost Anthony Davis-esque, where he's going to have to prove he can guard out on the perimeter and be the rim protector at times. So he's going to need a
lot of duties, but
he's going to be sort of the key part in all that, and then obviously his brother Isaiah off the bench, and then sort of Dean Wade and all these other guys that they have. It's just the defense.
It is tough, but you cannot deny the potential of this team.
Of course,
is through
the offensive potential is truly unlocked. You have
it's through the roof,
so much,
bro.
Absolutely. Mobley will thrive in the chance of playing the 5 when they get to open up the floor and space things out. He'll be able to pick and pop. 2, absolutely. 3, honestly, just a boatload of amazing ball handlers back there. Rondo will give him some hope. Rubio, and then obviously LeVert, Garland, and Mitchell all being able to score and work with him off that. It's going to be amazing. Jared Allen's probably going to see a tick up in points. Some lobs is going to be coming.
You think so?
No, he'll get
maybe
double
his numbers go down. Oh,
I don't know. They're going to, coming off a pick and roll, you're going to see Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
You're probably going to rotate a little bit more. Garland with the floaters, you're just going to get even if it's just extra look. I think guys like Mobley and Jared Allen might see a little bit of uptick in points, considering they're not going to be, they didn't have this. Sexton was injured so early on. They didn't necessarily have a reliable number 2 scorer. Lauri Markkanen was also there, but he was injured on and off throughout the season. And he isn't a world beater of a scorer right now, averaged 18 a few years ago, but he's sort of needs to find his spot again. So an extra pick and roll guy that's going to be a problem. It's looking pretty good for Jared Allen, honestly. Jared Allen's going to be feeling pretty good about himself this season.
So we can agree Jazz are near the bottom of the West.
Jazz are definitely near the bottom of the West, but we have to see if teams like the Kings are going to Kings, obviously. We'll see. They do have pieces. My issue with the Cavs is
defense, apparently.
Defense, and are we just going to see another Chicago situation where everyone falls in love with a newly assembled team because of all the names on paper, and then it sort of fizzles out on it?
I don't think they have to be worried about the issues that the Bulls had. I think they got that covered with Mobley and Allen.
That's what we see. But they're gonna run into a prime example. First round matchup. They get in there. They're gonna have a very, very, very tough time with a team that we love to talk about on the show, the Toronto Raptors. The team that got all the lengthy wings all the stoppage.
7-game series would be amazing.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
They're going to have the length to counter the Mobleys and the Allen, and then have the length to get out there on the perimeter and make it a problem for those guys.
This is why you should have came to Toronto, Donovan.
There's just, that's a prime example.
Celtics,
Miami. Miami obviously has their defensive culture. If Boston can stay as one of the most relevant defensive teams, they'll give them some fits. Obviously, we'll have rim protection of all kinds with our obvious perimeter defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. That's another one. Newly assembled, it's looking like the 76ers are going to be a better defense. Obviously, we'll have Matisse Thybulle out there. PJ Tucker will add something, and everybody knows Joel Embiid is sort of lurks in those top 5, top 6, top 7 for defensive player. He's going to block shots. You know what I mean? So that's another team that's going to be out there. And then, obviously, DeJounte Murray on the perimeter, Clint Capella backing him up, another team, so there's gonna be a lot. A team like Chicago, they'll have an exciting series because those are more so of offensive teams matching
Will
up. Not
Chicago
so
even
much
make
of,
it?
it's gonna.
Ooh, there are
You know what I
9
mean?
teams
And
in the
then
East
what are
where
they
it's
gonna
like,
do with a Nets team that can shoot and put
yeah,
up a bunch of points if they're all set? So the Cavs, is good, but maybe top 6. Like I don't know. It's really gonna
first
be
round
interesting to
exit,
see.
second round exit,
If they get a first round
finals.
exit, the trade is gonna look like a flop. They need to at least win a
I,
series.
I hope
No, they need to win a
bro.
series,
You
whether it's the
cannot
Nets,
give it 1
whether it's
year and already call it a
Miami.
flop, bro. Get out of
It's
here.
not gonna look. You did.
It
You
won't
you
look good, but
traded it all away to get
we
there.
traded what
And
though? They didn't trade anything away.
you
Like
traded
in the
3 young
return,
pieces and 5 first
yeah,
round picks with no
I hear
guarantee
it,
that
but
any of this is gonna stay together in a few years, which is why everyone's just diving in right
3
now.
years. So why would it be a flop after 1 year when Donovan has like 3 or 4 on his contract? Why not consider it a
Because you
flop
made
at
all
the
of that to
end?
not be a first round exit.
Oh,
That's
that's
why
tough.
you
Chemistry
did
is a
not
thing, though.
do it to get bounced out of the
Chemistry
first
is a
round.
thing. And like you were just naming all those teams, right? I think best case scenario, their second round exit this year.
Oh, absolutely.
They're
They're gonna
second.
need to
I
get the
don't think they'll
favorable
make the
matchup.
finals, but I think this team will be perfectly fine years to come. I don't think a first
Ooh.
round exit will say flop or second round. If they don't make the playoffs and they just look horrendous, then yes, after 1 year you can consider that a flop. But right now, I don't know how a first round exit would be a flop, bro.
It's not gonna. It's not. It's gonna. It will be a flop for this year. 'Cause that's not what they. That's not what they traded for. Obviously, they did not trade to be first round exited. That was meant to be a total upgrade. But man,
They didn't even make the
basketball season.
playoffs last year, bro. Getting into
Basketball
the
season.
playoffs is it's worth it, right?
But they lost. Why? Because they flopped in the playing game.
Because Jared Allen was injured.
They lost in the playing game. So
Because of
that's
injury.
not what you want to do.
No,
At all.
definitely not.
But as we continue on, the biggest portion of the show is now underway. NFL football kicks off tomorrow. The defending
Oh
Super Bowl
God, it is
champions,
tomorrow.
the defending Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. Oh, they're ready to host none other than Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Buffalo Bills in what is potentially a Super Bowl preview. Buffalo is obviously favored at the moment. I believe it is there were 2.5 earlier this morning. I think there was rumors that it was going to be moving closer to 2. We'll see how it is. Buffalo is favored in this game, but nonetheless, NFL is upon us. And what better way to start than the over-unders a little bit? Actually, not even last minute this year. Last season, we did it like
super early.
Super early. Didn't really lay the land out that properly. The most embarrassing 2 takes were the under on the Bengals last season winning like 5 games. We had them winning like 4. Total fucking embarrassment on this show. And then the Giants, I sipped way too much.
Yes, you did.
Big Blue Gatorade.
You know what I just realized? Yo, you maybe could have been right about the Dolphins, but they were tanking, bro. You might have been right. Oh man.
Whatever,
Aren't you
bro.
mad now? Aren't you mad?
They let me down. They let me down. I'm telling the teams that I wanted, they just let me down. But nonetheless, over, under, what better place to start than the NFC East? We'll take it up with the NFC teams as we go underway, as the AFC is obviously the much more exciting conference. And Mama has a look of concern.
Because what team are you about to say?
Going with the NFC East. What better way to start?
What team? Which team?
What better way to start than the Giants that already burned
the
you
Giants?
once?
Okay.
No better way
if you had said
start.
the Eagles, bro, that was literally the first team that I put down for the over-under.
It was the second team. But we have the Giants over under 7.5 games. Mamba.
Under.
Agreed. Both have the under. It's just a rebuilding year. I think everybody can agree.
Yeah, we
love the draft though. We love O'Neal and we love Thibodeau. There's definitely pieces on this roster. If you want to see me embarrass myself, look up how much I gushed over their offensive weapons last year. Not a lot has to be said. Daniel Jones is going to be very key this year. He maybe has the weapons. We'll have to see if Saquon's healthy. Galladay, Sterling.
Drafted him in a couple leagues.
Tony.
Please, Saquon.
I also have Saquon. The wide receivers are all there. The tight ends, they tried. Defense is going to be a little sus. Brian Daboll going to try to get it back together, but we can both firmly agree under 7.5. Probably not going to be an outstanding season for the boys.
Real quick about Daboll and their offensive coordinator. Do you think he said, yes, you can call the plays, so in case they're not up to par like a lot of people are thinking, he can be like, but I'm not calling the plays, guys. It's him,
You gotta see, because the head coach, obviously, you have to dabble in much more. You gotta be, focused and attentive. And I think as the season goes on, maybe in those 2-minute warnings, it's just like, hey,
he'd be like,
slide me that headset real quick.
Right.
Let me let you know. So potentially, but you do have to see what you got, especially as a head coach. We've seen it. First-time head coaches, they don't always go wonderful. So maybe
when
not
they're calling plays, especially.
Not too much. Don't put too much on your plate too early. You guys are obviously a rebuilding team. There's no denying that for the Giants. So take it easy, one season at a time. Approach the draft next year with whatever mindset you got.
Bryce Young, Chase Stroud.
Hey, we talked about a couple days ago. And as we continue moving on to the team in the same division, the newly named Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz and company, are obviously trying to have a bounce back season. They were the darling team, I guess, a couple seasons ago, led by Taylor Heineke. Everyone was loving them. The defense led the way a lot. Fizzled out a bit last season, didn't look as great. It's sad to say here, because I actually do like this team. I have them at the under 7.5 win mark. Carson Wentz is in a major improvement. Wide receiving core still needs a little bit of help for Scary Terry. And the defense, the secondary still very much worries me. And they lost their best offensive lineman.
Under. I mean, you hit it. Like, Chase Young isn't going to be there at the start. They got to play the Colts this year. Like, when I was looking at the schedule, 1-1-1. Right? 1 win, 1 loss. Maybe win, maybe loss is how I did it. And then at the end, my numbers might have got fudged a little bit. But, I made up for it. I was like, yeah, I'll just put a win there and I'll take that. The Commanders, I'm calling them comrades. The Commanders, Carson Wentz just ain't it. As much as I would love to see his revenge tour against the Colts and the Eagles, it's just, I don't know what that team can do to get it together. Like, Rivera, solid coach. I just, they have a solid team. They just never get it together. And when they get there, they make the playoffs with like a 9-8 record, an 8-8 record. So, they're never taken serious when they get there. And they get there and it's like, why even get here? You're going to lose. Why not try to get a better prospect for it,
100% agree.
Sorry, Commanders.
It'd be like that. No, it really is. Moving onwards, we do now have the Philadelphia Eagles. Tons of improvements. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, all going to be catching passes from the young Jalen Hurts with ranked last season as a number 1 running game, an improved defense. Obviously, added Nakobe Dean, brought in Jordan Davis, signed Hassan Reddick, brought in James Bradbury. Just improved on
stole 2 of the players I want on the Saints.
Levels on defense added to all 3 pieces.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Another guy.
Jordan Davis. Those 2 right there, bro. Literally.
Added pieces on all levels of the defense. Still has Big Fletcher Cox down the middle there.
Yep.
So not going anywhere. Defensive side of the ball. Just getting better. 9.5 wins. Over, under. I have them hitting the over. I got them at about 10 wins. Obviously, not only are they going to be playing in division, as we know the Commanders and the Giants will not be all that great, they also have to play the NFC North. I'm looking at you, Chicago. I'm looking at you, Detroit. Also playing the AFC South in a rebuilding entire division.
Yo,
The Jags, the
the
Texans.
AFC South, they are going to get butchered this year, bro. The AFC South is
Oh, we're going to
playing
get
the
to that one.
NFC East in the AFC West, bro.
Oh, yeah.
AFC South is it's in
So,
shambles.
outside of obviously getting to pick on the Commanders, the Giants, and obviously most likely pick a win off of the Cowboys, they got some easy games, Texans, Lions, Chicago, Jags. We have to see what they look like at this point of the season, although they are a team
Poor Jags.
that are on that a lot of people believe are on the come up, but I'm going over. I think they can eke out about 10 to 11 wins here. And not only that, I have them winning the division. Mamba, are we over under on 9.5?
We are in complete unison right now on the Eagles. They are taking this
The
division.
whole division so far. We're on point with this division.
I mean, this division probably definitely
That's why we started here.
easiest one,
That's
other
why we
than
started here.
an AFC one, but Eagles, I love the pieces that they've added to this team. Nick Sirianni, he was taken as a joke in the beginning because of some of the stuff he did, but he got them to start playing. I believe they were 5-1 in their last 6 games or something like that.
Yeah,
they went on
coming all the way back up, 9-8, able to get to the playoffs. Can they win one more with all the improvements we listed off?
And
I would think so.
I believe in Jalen Hurts.
We are Jalen Hurts fans on the show. Yes. We are Jalen Hurts fans on the show. I don't know what started it or what caused it. We've just become Jalen Hurts fans over the last seasons.
He has it as a quarterback, right?
I am a fan of dual threat. I will say.
A quarterback can run and throw. Love it.
Absolutely.
But Jalen Hurts, that man, and I mean they got Gardner Minshew as a backup too.
Minshew mania.
Shit, Eagles 11 at least.
Fair enough. And last year's NFC East defending champions, the Dallas Cowboys, are up to a 10.5. So can the Dallas Cowboys win 11 games? Mamba over under is already shaking his head. Tragic under.
And now, well, not tragic. They'll probably get 10, to be honest. This 0.5, bro. Bane of my existence when doing this, because it's 9.5 for this team. I could see them win 10. I could see them win 9. The Cowboys. I can't see them winning 11. Actually, to be honest, they're terrible. But 10.5 for a team where yes, they did stay together, but they didn't add anyone to help their holes. They are losing. Yeah, Amari gone, but it kind of felt like he was already out last year, Tyrone Smith injured again. That O-line is going to be
getting worse.
Yes. Yes, they are getting worse. Dak Prescott, a lot's going to be on his shoulders as the quarterback, trying to get the ball to CD, to Gallup when they come back. And then Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, it's a cool combo, but how is it going to work out in the end? I know they want to get Pollard in on the passing more.
Yep.
But they're still we need to get Zeke 20 touches a game because we gave this man a stupid amount of money, 10. 10 wins for him, honestly, and that's me being generous to him.
I also have them at the under around 10-9. They are one CeeDee Lamb injury away from having no pass.
Oh, God, I hope not. I drafted him in a league.
Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, and Dalton Schultz will be essentially the other pass catchers behind CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, there's talk to Tony Pollard spreading out wide and stuff like that, sort of incorporating him more into the offense. I'm just not overly impressed. They lost a lot. Obviously, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup is obviously going to start the season injured yet again. Cedric Wilson leaves to Miami. Randy Gregory leaves to the Denver Broncos. Connor Williams is also gone, if I'm not mistaken.
To the Niners, right?
One of them, they lost Lyle Collins to the Bengals.
Yep.
So it's just depleting. The team is slowly depleting. Not overly in love with the coach. I don't think anyone is. And they're going to need to get it together. We can
They'll
agree
love their head
4
coach
for
next
4.
year.
4 for 4 on that one. Sean Payton, we'll see what he does. NFC North is now underway as they are playing the AFC East and the NFC East. So Green Bay, we are starting with Aaron Rodgers and the gang at 10.5 wins. Over or under?
Over. Probably over.
Over.
I mean, it's still Green Bay. It's Aaron Rodgers, and I know he was chewing out his wide receivers and all that, but someone is going to step up for that team, right? And I'm not about to bet against a man who won back-to-back playoffs tripping. Like, that man, he's tripping, and he's going to come out and dominate again. The wide receivers, it does suck not having your Devontae Adams, but they'll find somebody. Yep. They always do. They'll get someone a weapon for Aaron, hopefully, and they'll probably win that division again.
Agreed. I also have them on the over. I think the defense is going to be more so of the story. Jerry Alexander obviously coming back on the perimeter is going to be a big help. Rasul Douglas came up strong last season for them. Kenny Clark, obviously no slouch inside. Gary's another one down up in the trenches for them. Not any slouches on that. I think the defense is going to be a big part of this season. But I agree, the wide receivers are going to be a big question mark, and that actually might help Aaron a little more, be able to spread the ball to multiple different targets. Probably not the best place to go if you're looking for wide receivers in terms of fantasy. But sort of like Kansas City in my eyes, just having all these different weapons, all these different tools, all these different guys that can do so many different things actually might be more so of a benefit than having to be so Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams centric, in my opinion.
They also got a two-headed monster at running back, so
absolutely.
They'll be able to pound around.
Yep. He can actually run. The offensive line only going to get better.
Yep.
Jenkins ended up coming back. Bakhtiari should be coming back hopefully at some point to help them out. But nonetheless, they are doing. We are in agreement 5 for 5 on that one. Moving on, we have the Minnesota Vikings 9.5 games. Added an offensive-minded coach in Kevin O'Connell. Has been said that they are going to be doing some more pass-oriented. Obviously, have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Jalen Reagor also just got added to the mix. And then obviously the chef, Dalvin Cook, is in the backfield. But not only that, on the flip side of things, added from the Green Bay Packers, Zadarius Smith to bolster up the pass rush quite a bit. And then obviously we know Harrison is obviously back there in the secondary. 9.5. I have the over. I think they will win 10 games. I think this could be a nice 10-17, especially because in division it's not overly. They don't got too much to worry about. And then again, they're gonna be taking on the NFC East.
Yes.
Maybe an easy game against the Giants. Nice little pickup game. Maybe against
the Commanders,
of course. And they just barely lost last season to Dallas, so another game that they can potentially eke out and win. But they're in a weaker division, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of potentially winning out and getting 10 games there. I'm over on Minnesota.
I'm glad you did that because I didn't know if I wanted to buy into this offense is about to be because this offense does have the potential. Kirk Cousins. Very average.
Michael Irving's MVP.
All right.
Michael Irving is MVP. Right, so if you haven't seen it, go look it up. That Michael Irving, the legendary Cowboy, Mr. 88 himself, said Kirk Cousins for MVP. Go ahead.
With those wide receivers, with the running back, the O-line, it's okay. I wanted to give them 10. I really did, but I was like, I'm not about to be.
Are you going 9-8?
I'm going 9-8. Yes.
9-8.
9-8. Unfortunate.
The first one we don't agree on just yet.
And it's that 0.5, bro. I'm like, they could very much I forget which team it was where I was like, I don't know if I should put you over them or on,
There's definitely a couple.
Yeah, with the Vikings, it's tough. They could potentially win this division.
Yep.
They could potentially win it, but I'm a hold off.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give them 9.
I hear it. Moving on, we have the Chicago Bears led by young Justin Jefferson.
Who?
And not
who? Justin Jefferson.
Justin Fields. Oh man. A lot of Justins. From Justin to Justin.
Yes.
Yes, Justin Fields leading this young core of some unproven receivers and a sort of an unproven offense and a deteriorating defense that seamlessly keeps falling off. I have the under on the 6.5 here. I don't have a lot of faith in this team. Another sort of rebuilding year, new coach, new GM, new a lot going on, and not wanting to pay your best linebacker and arguably one of the best linebackers in the NFL is going to come back to bite them in the ass.
They traded Khalil.
Deteriorating defense. They're going backwards, in my opinion. So I'm going to go the under on the Chicago Bears.
I think I gave them like 4 wins.
Fair enough.
Yeah, when I was going through it.
They will be moving stadiums.
And the president's done after this year, so it's just be terrible, get a top pick, get a great player.
Get the transition
move
years
on.
rolling.
Right. Under
Absolutely.
for the Bears. Sorry.
You heard it here, man. Sorry, Bears. We got the Hard Knock Stars, the Detroit Lions, a team that everybody has been falling in love with over the last 2 seasons. Sadly, 6.5. I'm going to have to take the under on this. I don't think it's their year, although they have a lot of players I think a lot of people like. Obviously, Swift, TJ Hawkinson, Jamal Williams has been a star. Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously. They had all types of people. Aiden Hutchinson, the hometown, one of those stories that are going to be played out throughout the season. And a coach that a lot of people love in Dan Campbell. A lot of player coaches on the roster, former players on the coaching staff. So there's a team that a lot of people are getting behind, social media. And maybe in a few years, get the quarterbacks, situation figured out. But I don't know, Jared Goff, let him win the Super Bowl. I don't know. But wait and see. Gonna go with the 6.5 on the under on this. Sad to say, the Lions, it's just not quite there. Not quite.
You're a hater, dude, and that's all it is to it. They are getting 7 wins exactly.
There's no way you believe that.
7. I said over.
You really believe
over
the Detroit Lions are over?
It's 6.5. Hell yeah,
7-10.
Yeah,
7-10 Detroit Lions.
Yes.
They just went like 3-14 or 4.
I don't give a damn.
Wow.
Yeah, a little spoiler alert. I thought it was going to be the Jaguars. Not their schedule ridiculous. I'm giving it to the Lions. They are the team that's going to improve the most, being a bottom 5 team.
Damn. All right. I hear it. There we go. Moving onward, we have your division, the NFC South. What better way to start than your New Orleans Saints?
Don't even ask. You already know what I'm going to say.
8.5 games.
So disrespectful.
Over under.
We're under the Vikings. We're under the trash-ass Cowboys, bro. I'm pretty sure we're under the Patriots. No, I think we're tied with y'all, actually, at 8.5. Over. I think I gave them like 11.
Agreed.
No bias
I have them at the over. 11 is a lot. That's a very interesting number to go with. I do have them on the over, though. I also found it actually quite
disrespectful. I agree.
Yeah. I like
that
the
defense is still stupid. Our wide receivers got better. We still got Alvin. Our O-line's probably one of the best in the league. Yeah, we lost a couple people here and there, but come on, like 8.5? No.
There you go. Mamba said it all. I don't even got to say anything else on that one. In agreement on the Saints.
Correct.
100% agree on that one. They were a team that I looked at. I was like, wow, 8.5. That's crazy.
That's stupid. Now watch us win like 3 games, bro.
No way. I think you guys should be all right. The defense will obviously win you guys some games there. Should be just fine. Wild number. As we move on, we got the Atlanta Falcons, 4.5 games. Over, under, Mamba. I went under.
think I actually went over for like 5 wins, maybe. It's not a lot, but
I think the defense is ass. Their offense, I don't know what the hell they're gonna get.
Yep.
I mean, I like Kyle Pitts and Drake London. We'll have to see where Cordell Patterson's gonna be saving fantasy leagues again, but the defense is terrible.
Yes.
I don't think the offense wasn't that great last year. It obviously wasn't that great. I just don't have a lot of faith in the team in general. Atlanta,
Yeah.
about 3 to 4 wins, and you'll be a top 3 pick yet again.
Which they need because they suck. So.
But you have them at the over. So
I gave them 5 wins, bro. All right. Oh, my bad. Half a win. Oh, you probably gave them 3, 1.5,
something like that. Literally, like
1.5,
like 3 maybe.
Yeah.
Their schedule was not it. They have to not only play.
We're playing the AFC North, and
you guys played the AFC North. So all 4 of those young quarterbacks and the NFC West.
There you go.
So
Rams, Niners, Cardinals.
Atlanta has the worst quarterback in about 14 of their games, sadly. So there's just no fucking way in hell I have any faith in them doing anything. Moving on, we have the Carolina Panthers at 6.5. Sorry, Baker, buddy. I got you guys at about 6 wins. Got them on the under.
Same.
Under for Baker.
Same, yeah.
They just fizzled out last year. It was an interesting start, 3-0. The defense looked legit. McCaffrey was healthy. It looked, solid, but I don't think Baker Mayfield moves the needle all that much. Too much for me.
They added some nice pieces like LaVisca,
that's
getting Christian back, Baker even in himself is an interesting pick because if he is actually on a redemption revenge tour, he might be, something, but I can't give the Panthers more than 6 wins. Sorry.
I got him at about the same. Your arch nemesis and my ex-lover, Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, 11.5 over under. And I might hit you with a little bit of a shock on this one. I got him on the under. I actually give him at a right around 11-6. I don't think they're going to win 12 games. I think you guys have had his number and will continue to have his number. I think the offensive line is going to obviously play a big factor in it. He's lost his center guard. So that's obviously going to be.
And Worse went down too, right?
I have no idea if so.
I believe early on in one of their I don't know if it was a long-term injury, but I do remember seeing Worse name.
The biggest key to Tom Brady's success is keep the pressure up the middle to a neutral. It's been like that for years, and his entire middle has now collapsed. So we'll have to wait and see there. The offense, we're going to have to see, obviously, Russell Gage, Julio Jones are going to sort of be playing in and out of these lineups with the absence of Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin coming back into form. No Rob Gronkowski, obviously. The secondary is still suspect like it was all of last year, although that front 7 is probably the best front 7 in the NFL. Also adding Hakeem Nicks, which a lot of people tend to forget. Defense isn't going to be a problem. They have bits and pieces that I am worried about. I'll sit them at an 11. That 0.5, like you complained about earlier, it's a tough one.
Yes.
But again, they will also be playing the West and the North. So Tom Brady isn't the overwhelming number 1 quarterback when it's going to be facing Lamar and Burrow. He won't have to worry about Deshaun and the Browns. That'll be the week afterwards. But he also has Kyler and Trey Lance and Matthew Stafford and, the Saints, like I mentioned, that have his number. So it's not going to be an easy year 3 for Tampa Bay.
I agree. 12 just seems, I know it's 1 win, but
I don't even think I have
12 just seems a little too much for everything that they've gone. Obviously, they're going to be a good team.
Of course.
But, 12 is just a little too much for them.
12 and
everything
5
they're
tough.
Going through, yes.
They got to play they got to play some really good teams.
Yes.
And, Pittsburgh, I didn't give a lot of credit for, but hey, Mike Tomlin's a coach that he ain't no slouch. That defense.
Yeah,
we're going to get to them in a little bit.
We're
going to move on, wrap up things in the NFC as we're going to talk about the West, and we get to Seattle, 5.5. Spoiler alert, I'm going the under on that. one of the worst.
What team did you just say?
The Seahawks.
Yes.
Seattle. 5.5. We're both going the under on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we both agree the defense is pretty boo-boo.
That's probably the number one pick next year.
There's a good chance. There's definitely a good chance. They're just not that great. They're really just not that great. Quarterbacks problems.
They got nice pieces, and that they've locked up. Yeah. But
you know, we got Lockett, you got Metcalf, you have
that team is not right.
Kenneth Walker, you have Noah Fant now.
Please Lockett. Please.
I also just recently drafted Lockett earlier today. But the defense is overwhelmingly still bad. Offensive line is still pretty bad.
You got again, but that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Seattle is just not a beautiful team. Now we get to a very interesting one here. The Arizona Cardinals over under 8.5. And I want to hit you with a shocker. I'm going under. I have no faith. They won 10 games last season?
I believe so, yes.
They won, I think they won 10 games last season, and that was with a 7-0 start. No D-Hop.
I forgot that.
Yeah, no D-Hop to start.
Yep.
For the first
week
6 games.
Is his last, yep.
He was suspended. Obviously traded away their best defensive player in Chandler Jones to the Raiders. So losing pieces on both sides of the ball.
Did they trade him or did he walk? I thought he walked.
Either way, lost their best defensive player. Lost one of their most important wide receiver. Also lost Christian Kirk to the Jags.
Added Brown. They added Brown.
Yeah, but he's going to have to
Brown is solid.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to be a Marquise Brown. He's going to have to masquerade as D-Hop for the first 6 weeks.
Okay.
So
that's fine. Sprint downfield. He'll pass you the ball.
I don't know about all that. I got him on the under. I got him winning about 7 or 8 games, somewhere in a 7-10, 8-9 range. We're going to look at Arizona as everything that happened in the offseason is going to be ugly.
I think the most interesting storyline that could come out of this NFL season is the Cardinals made a mistake giving Kyler Murray the money. I think they're going under as well.
Ooh,
I think the rumors, not the rumors, the headlines of is he actually worth it is when the 49ers, which we'll go with them next because I believe the 49ers will be over.
Over 9.5? Agreed.
Yes. I believe they'll be over, and Trey Lance will dominate in those games. And they're going to be like, we just gave Kyler Murray like $180 million guaranteed, and we're not even making the playoffs this year. Yep. And I almost picked the Cardinals over the Niners. I almost went over for the Cardinals and under for the Niners, but it is something about that Niners team. Right? Like, everything you hear, like, yeah, sometimes it's bad about Trey Lance.
Yep.
But that team, they just always figure it out. And I know we're talking about the Cardinals.
No, we're on for it.
But
it's fine.
It is. It is going to be a tough year for the Cardinals.
Absolutely. Agreed. Under on the Niners. Under on the Cards for both of those. We are both over on the Niners. I agree. Niners last season made it all the way to the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
They were on the road the entire time, beat Dallas. Who else did they beat? I already
Green
forgot.
Bay. Green Bay and that part.
Again.
Yep.
Beat Green Bay again. That's right. Oh my God. And then obviously very close to beating the
Rams.
The Rams if it wasn't for that Tart dropped interception in the third or fourth quarter. I also have it's the weapons. Their ability to scheme the run very nicely and get themselves up. And then the defense, obviously, not bad at all. Easy 10-11.
Yes.
They're going to need to take advantage of some of the games playing up against the NFC South because they will also be playing the AFC West. So we're going to get a lot of dynamic matchups at that point. I want to say there's a 3-game stretch where I think they go Rams, Kansas City, and Arizona. So those are going to be the
Tough.
marquee games where Trey Lance
Yep.
is sort of under the microscope going up against the other big name young quarterbacks. So that's always going to be interesting. And then we have the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Rams at
All
10
the
and
way.
a half. We are both on the over. This team is essentially doing what Tampa Bay did a few seasons ago and just running it all the way back with
Not really though.
I mean,
They
other than
added pieces.
they lost,
They kept they
Woods
lost
and
Odell.
OBJ, but
Okay,
yeah,
people
obviously
who
brought
got
in
injured,
Allen Robinson.
like,
Von Miller was a mid-season addition, so it wasn't really that bad, and they
and they
replaced him with
replaced
Bobby Wagner. So
right.
it's kind of, you know what I mean? They essentially, in my eyes, they just ran it back. They just kind of plugged in holes with literally almost, clay models of the guys that they already had. So it's not really like they lost anything. It's exactly the same. If anything, they got better because of the championship experience, because of that run. They only got better. We are in agreement on the over and winning the division, or are you looking at the 49ers?
I got them winning.
We got the Rams in agreement.
Of course.
Agree. Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, and the gang looking good. Allen Robinson is obviously he didn't forget how to be a top wide receiver. A lot of people were in love with a few seasons ago. I think
the Bears just disrespected that man.
The Bears didn't quite amount to anything we were expecting, sadly. As we transition onward, we have the AFC on the flip side. We're going to head back down south.
We can go through this one quickly.
We have the Texans at 4.5. Mamba, I have under for the Texans. Defense still at work, quarterback still at work, receivers. This whole team is just in works.
Some nice pieces, but
Lovie Smith has some things ahead of him. Obviously, try to fix this roster. They obviously love Davis Mills, or they appreciate him and like him enough that they didn't need Baker, and they didn't decide to go out and get any one of these quarterbacks. They decided to what's their number one pick? Did they go corner on this one?
They went
Stingley, yeah, they did go corner. So they went to address the defense. Justin Reed, obviously up and left, also to Kansas City. So obviously a team to be on the lookout for. The team that Mamba keeps saying he feels bad for at 6.5, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Mamba, you seemingly have the under?
Yeah.
Oh,
I gave them 5 wins, bro.
Tell me why.
It's that schedule. That's the why. This is a great year for them, right? Even though they're going to suck, they're going to be playing the Chiefs. They're going to be playing the Raiders. They're going to be playing the Chargers. They're going to be playing all these tough teams that are probably, I mean, we'll get to the AFC West when we get there, but they'll be playing a good amount of teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs. So they're probably going to get stomped the fuck out, Like, it's just what happens. The preseason got me a little high on the Jags because I saw some good things from Trevor Lawrence. And then I looked at that schedule and I realized it's going to be a tough year for a Jaguar, man.
Hey, I hear it. Mama got him at 5. Guess what? I got the over. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning about 7 games.
Nice.
I like the matchup with the Texans. Obviously, like you mentioned before, usually me and you have a lot of the similar idea. When we look in the division, we sort of already split it as a 3-3 start. We usually can assume that the division games will be split evenly, 1-1, more or less.
Remember what you just said right there.
Okay. More or less, they get split there in like a 3-3. So I believe they'll get a win on the Colts and the Texans, obviously, and the Titans. I do like their matchup in the East.
I didn't give them one against the Titans. Derrick Henry owns that team, bro.
I hear it. I like the matchup. Obviously, we'll have the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders. So that should be something. And I think that I'm gonna say this now. The Jags and Trevor Lawrence are going to actually be a very interesting team when the AFC West comes around. There's a stretch at one point of their season where they play, I believe it is Kansas City, Chargers, and the Eagles in 3 games. Don't be surprised when Trevor Lawrence shocks some folks and picks up a win against one of those young quarterbacks. Just saying, I got the over 6.5 for those Jaguars. Just saying. Just saying.
Poor Jags.
Just saying. Remember this. I'm gonna come back to this.
I hope you're right.
I'm telling you,
I really do.
He a lot like Trey Lance will be matched up against some of these other young quarterbacks.
I'm glad you're back on board and giving him a chance.
I think it's the culture change. Then Peterson obviously being in there and actually having an actual head coach and not going through the shenanigans that they went through and then having an interim coach. I think having an actual Super Bowl winning head coach, NFL head coach, tons of experience, been there, done that. I think will be good for the roster. We have the Tennessee Titans 9.5 over under. Mamba, I can't wait to hear this.
I gave him 10.
Mamba gives him the over on 10.
Yeah, playing the Giants, playing the Commanders. The Cowboys matchup, that one I was, it's like when it was a 50-50, like maybe they win, maybe they lose, like I waited until I had an even number and then I distributed to the wins and the losses. So when I had to, I gave them one win and one loss, when it was 50-50, trying to, but the Titans, they did lose a good amount, but I still believe in Derrick Henry. I still believe Tannehill will be able to get enough out of Robert Woods coming off the injury, Austin Hooper, Their old line is going to be banged up. And I have a feeling I know what you're about to say for yours, but I'm still on board with King Henry, okay?
I got him at about 9-8. I'm hitting the under.
Yeah,
Derrick
I
Henry
can definitely see that as well, too.
Derrick Henry coming back from injury is going to be big. This offense is going to need to figure some things out. Robert Woods coming back trying to, the top two pass catching options that they added on, Robert Woods and Treylon Burks, have no real chemistry with Ryan Tannehill. The last time we saw Ryan Tannehill, he threw 3 interceptions as the number 1 seed at home in Tennessee to the eventual
where
AFC
they lost the game.
Champions,
now they sacked the quarterback 9 times. And they did lose Harold Landry. So I'm going to rescind my over and go under, actually.
They also lost Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins, also retired.
No, I'm not going to change. I'll stick with it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
But it's going to be tough. I do like Coach Vrabel. I feel like this offense isn't going to hit quite.
It can be tough. This could be a tough year, yes.
This is going to be a key year for them, especially because we're in the transition of we just saw what Tannehill did. I want to say he's 1-3 in the playoffs, 1-4 in the playoffs. You're not winning many playoffs games with Ryan Tannehill. We saw flashes of Malik Willis. He's going to be under the microscope. Moving onwards, we have the Indianapolis Colts at 9.5. Just added Matt Ryan, a true quarterback, a pro's pro, the veteran, MVP, Super Bowl led Atlanta
and
Falcons.
This is a cold, in a commercial.
Probably would have won a Super Bowl, 28-3. I don't, not even trying to say it in a rubbing it in a way. Like,
not do it.
No, because realistically, if their
Super Bowl
fucking defense could have done anything towards the end there, they're looking at a Super Bowl, if we're being honest. But, a bit of an improvement. I'm going to go on the over. I'm going to give them about 10 to 11. I think everyone loves this defense. Everyone loves this offensive line. Everybody loves this run game. It's sort of been the question of the past game over the last few seasons. Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz. Now we have Matt Ryan, 3 for 3. Hopefully this third time is the charm for this team. You're saying yes. Are we in agreement with the over on the Indianapolis Colts?
For sure. That team, it just feels like they have everything to be successful. So I gave them 10. Yeah. 10.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's going to be a good one. We're going right on up to the AFC East. Up next, we have the New England Patriots over under 8.5 games. I'm going to set the precedent here. We are an 8-9 team. I have the under. We will be an under 500 roster. Outside of the first 6 or 7 games of the season, I've been saying since schedule drop, the back half of the season is an absolute torture run for my New England Patriots. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I know we start Thanksgiving with Minnesota. Then from there, it's like Minnesota, Cardinals, Raiders. I think both of our games against Buffalo are in the second half of the week of the season. Miami is another one. There's like a 7-8 game stretch at the end of the year where we might pick up a win or two, but God damn it, we're in tough position.
We're in agreement. Yes, we are.
Good to know.
Amen. Yes,
Good to
sir.
know. It is absolutely it's sad. Lost JC Jackson.
Lost your offensive coordinator.
Lost a lot of shit. I don't know who's calling plays.
They want,
I haven't.
Ask Madden. They should call him Ask Madden.
Maybe. I'm not overly excited for this season. Yeah, I'm just being realistic here, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Can't
agree.
bullshit. Can't bullshit. Onwards, we have the New York Jets. Over under 5.5. I'll say right now, I have them on the over. I do like their roster. I think we agreed their drafts over the last few seasons have been amazing. Zach Wilson not starting off right away is definitely going to be a damper on them. And not to say Joe Flacco is a bum, but Joe Flacco's a bum. And we kind of already know what kind of quarterback he is at this point in his career. He's not some sort of life-saving, or he's not even a bridge quarterback at this point. He's a legitimate backup that truly has no business out here trying to start games.
You gave him under. Sorry, Jets. I do like some of y'all's pieces, but
agree. Drafted 2 running backs over the last few seasons. Drafted a couple wide receivers: Elijah Mitchell,
some O-line,
Wilson, Elijah Vera Tucker on the O-line, Quentin Williams on the other side of the ball. Just all these different pieces. Sauce Gardner on the opposite. Like, they have a bunch of these fantastic looking pieces.
Yes.
They're just, a couple seasons away from really being an issue out there in the AFC East at least. I don't know about in the AFC in general, because there's a lot going on. Because the next team on the docket down in your area down below is Miami at 8.5. 8.5 for the Miami Dolphins. Quite a shocking number. I have the over. I think it's pretty easy to say.
You have the over?
Yes, Miami's going to
over 8.5.
Miami's going to win 10 games this season. Absolutely. They went.
They're going to do what?
Yeah, they're going to win 10 games. Miami's going to win 10 games. There's no doubt in my mind about that. They went on a 7-game losing streak last season. Yes. Literally tanking, and then went on a 7-game win streak to close out the season. Tua's only gotten better weapons. You got him Tyreek, got him Cedric Wilson to go along with Jalen Waddle. A boatload of running back committee led by Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds. And then they still have legitimate secondary players. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Javon Holland is still back there. Still have a formidable defense and an offensive-minded head coach in Mike McDaniels that I think is going to be able to unlock sort of we'll see Waddle and Tyreek used Deebo Samuels-esque, where they'll be getting pitches and so on. I think it's going to unlock all kinds of different things in the offense. And with everything that's going on, the last thing the Miami Dolphins want to be doing right now is losing a shit ton of fucking games with everything that's being circled around. And you don't want to be losing games when you're losing draft picks anyways. There's no point on trying to agree. I give him 10.
I give him 8.
Under. Mamba on the 8. Under.
8. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Y'all suck. I mean,
Miami's
obviously
ass.
they added Tyreek and stuff, and it made me want to, but I can't believe in the Dolphins. I can't.
Wow.
Can't do it.
Wow.
I think that's all I need to say. Can't do it.
Very, very shocked on that one. I feel like that's an easy over to hit this season.
That's crazy. 8.5 for the Dolphins. I feel like that is a lot for the Dolphins.
9 wins. They literally just won 9.
I understand that. I it's something about them, man. I'm not feeling the Dolphins.
I respect it. Over under 11.5 games for the Buffalo Bills. Can the Buffalo Bills win 12 games? Mamba, you have the over?
Yeah, about 13 or 14.
Wow.
And remember what I said earlier? We're going to come back to it.
Yeah.
I have them 6-0 in that division.
You have Buffalo absolutely trashing the entirety.
Yeah, the entire AFC East, bro. Gave them 6 wins off rip.
Off rip.
Yeah, Do I really need to explain myself? They just won 13, right? Right? That's how many they won, I'm pretty sure.
Last season, no.
Yeah.
They
No, how many do they
were
have?
they won
12? 11?
10 or 11 last
No.
season.
I feel like they have more. Besides the point, they get better. They have Vaughn. They still have Diggs. Gabe Davis came out of nowhere. Apparently, this Isaiah McKenzie dude,
Yep.
people are gushing about him. The running backs is by committee. Yes, it's still Singletary, Moss, and White. Cook.
James
White's
Cook,
in.
yep.
Yes, White's in the Raiders. The defense, they will be getting Tre'Davious White back. They still have Poyer back there. I'm pretty sure they still have Hyde back there, right? Like, I don't think the Bills did anything to get worse. If anything, they made moves to get better.
11-6 last season. 11-6.
11-6. Okay.
So they
I heard
didn't
something
even
about
they
13
didn't even
earlier.
hit it. They didn't even hit it last season.
No, you know that. And they're hitting 13 this year, at least, in my opinion.
I got the under. I got them winning
That's
about
awesome.
11 games.
I love that.
I got them winning about 10 or 11 games again. They got some games. Obviously, starting with playing the entirety of the AFC North to start. And then they'll obviously be playing the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. And I don't have them just beating the brakes out of everybody.
Yeah, and not hear that.
In the AFC East. I have Belichick eking out
Of
at least one of
course.
those games at some point. I also think Miami will get a win off of them at some point in a shot game. They lost to the fucking Jags 6-9 last year.
No, they did,
They're
but you know,
they're bound to get an upset here or there. I'm going to lean on the under. I'm going to give them about 10 or 11.
What I'm saying is they don't get hit by that game this year.
Nah, that game's going to hit them. That game's going to fucking hit them. As we move on, we have the AFC North. What better place to start than the Cleveland Browns, who are in flux? No Deshaun Watson until their week 13.
13, yes.
Week
Their
13
match against the Texans.
8.5 on the over-under Mamba. How are we feeling in the confidence of the Browns?
They can start really well. Their team, yes, Jacoby's their quarterback, but the team as a whole, they go from Panthers to Jets to Chargers to Falcons. Those 4 games, they could. Oh, is it Chargers or Steelers? I could be. It's Steelers probably because you said they play the AFC North, right? I know with the Steelers and the Chargers, for a lot of the teams, I was like, that could be a win, but that could also be a loss, depending on what team shows up for them, right? I believe it's Steelers. I believe Steelers is week 3. So going into week 5, I think they could be 3-1. But I have them hitting the under with 8 wins. And it's because when Deshaun gets back after that Texans game, they play like the Ravens and then the Cardinals, I think, for some reason. I think they play them. Like, I know when Deshaun gets back, that's when their schedule is like, all right, this is when we need you back. And at first, I wanted to give them some wins because it's like, maybe he comes back and he isn't rusted and he actually plays the way he used to. But I couldn't. So 8 wins for the Browns. Maybe next year, though. Yep. Maybe next year.
Agreed. I got the under on the Browns. Quarterback is obviously going to be in question. Jacoby Brissett was a part of that 7-game losing streak down in Miami. Not to just throw him up down there, but he is down there. The passing game behind Amari Cooper is going to be in question. Is Donovan Peoples-Jones going to have a big season? Is David Bell, the rookie? Is Njoku going to be a breakout? We know what they have in running backs, but one of the running backs wants out. So we'll have to see what happens with Kareem Hunt. I know everybody's like, oh, Dearness Johnson will just be able to plug and play. No problem. We'll have to, sort of wait and see. Obviously, the defense probably isn't probably not overly worried on the defensive side of the ball when you have Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney going to be brought up in there. Obviously, have some pieces in the secondary. Ward is obviously back there and on the corner. I just don't think their defense is going to be able to completely outdo the offensive side of the ball. So I agree on that one. Moving on, we have the 7.5 wins over under on the Pittsburgh Steelers, currently being led by Mitch Trubisky. Are we over
Yes.
or under? Over.
I'm over simply because Mike Tomlin, when he does lose, he wins more than he loses. So 8-1, 9-8. That's where I'm feeling. They're not gonna have a losing record, but they're probably not gonna make the playoffs.
Mamba's going with 8-1. I believe they were 9-8-1 last year.
Exactly.
I think. I
then
agree. I'm on the over on that one.
8-1 works, right?
9-7-1. 9-7-1.
Yeah, I was like, wait, does 8-8-1 work with it? Okay.
I think they were 9-7-1. With Ben Roethlisberger throwing potato balls.
8-1. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm on the over. I think their quarterback play is going to be at least a little bit better. And they went on an 11-game win streak 2 seasons ago. Everybody tends to forget they started 11-0. The defense it's still a solid defense, although it is obviously going to start teetering off in these later years, especially when they can't afford to pay people when they need to start paying their receivers.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
We'll see when George Pickens and Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool and Najee Harris is all these.
I'm just talking about this season, bro. The Steelers' defense will be all right this year. So after this year, I don't care what they do.
I love the addition of Myles Jack in the linebacker core.
Yes.
We not fans, but we both agree that, or at least think Brian Flores is a good coach. He should be a good addition to the defense.
If you can go 7-0 when you're supposed to be tanking, yeah, I'd say you're a pretty damn good coach, bro.
And then Mike Tomlin, obviously, there coaching up the boys. Pittsburgh should be in good hands. The AFC champions last season, Cincinnati Bengals, start the year at 9.5 games. Mamba has the overwhelming over.
At least 11.
At least 11, Mamba. We can also we can agree on that. I got them winning about 10.
I guess we don't agree then, huh?
It's not gonna be it. There's gonna be a game plan now. Everybody knows. Everybody knows it's Burrow Chase. There's going to be no hiding, no denying that. It's going to be focused in on. We're going to probably see Higgins and boys have good seasons. Due to that, the defense is still very suspect. They didn't make any wild changes on the defense. Although the offensive line
is still Eli Apple.
Yeah, I know.
Enough said.
Offensive line was absolutely fixed and looks great, of course, on the come up. But the defensive side of the ball still, it's going to be very situational-esque. And it's going to be tough. I think it's going to cost them. I think it's going to cost them some games. I will give them the 10.
And they got to pay Jesse Bates, right? They still haven't locked him up.
And they're going to have nothing but money to have to throw around in a few years when they have
exactly.
They got to pay these guys. Yeah, I have them at 10, about 10. I think I don't see them at 9 and 8. I think they'll be all right. I think they can get double digits.
Agreed.
Especially because they will be playing the AFC East. So they'll have Jets, Patriots,
Dolphins. Mm-hmm.
Whatever, and then they'll also be playing, the Saints and.
I didn't give them a win against us.
No way.
Yeah, I gave them a half.
Gotta love it. Oh boy, wrapping up the AFC North, we have the Ravens, Lamar Jackson led and friend of the show, Matt's favorite team, 10.5 over under. Mamba, I have the over.
I don't remember what I put for them, but 10.5.
11 or not?
Yeah, I do believe they'll be right there with the Bengals, but I'm gonna go under and give them 10.
Ooh, fair enough.
I believe that's what I put on there, anyways.
Fair enough. I think the defense is gonna be just fine. Secondary's gotten immaculately better, adding Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton.
Can we get him back too?
Back there? No.
Williams,
Marcus Peters and Humphreys coming back, gonna be outstanding. That secondary, Patrick Queen up front. Defense is obviously gonna be no joke. Lamar led them to an 8-3 record last season before coming down with an injury. I just have faith that when this team is healthy, they're going to be just fine. My biggest concern is after Mark Andrews, is Rashad Bateman going to be able to be the receiver for this roster?
Right.
Because that passing game is, if not, it's going down to Devin Duvernay, and I really can't even tell you who else is on that
Mark
roster.
Andrews.
The passing game is going to be the passing game is going to be super sus. But when they run the ball and your quarterback is Lamar Jackson, you got pretty good odds out there. Pretty good odds out there. As we continue onwards to wrap things up, we're going down to the AFC West, arguably the toughest division to sort of wrap our minds around here. What better place to start than the Raiders? 8.5 over under the Raiders with all the changes and all the moves they made. Mamba, are they a 9-win team? They made the playoffs last season through all their turmoil and none of these additions.
They can be at least 9, but I gave them 8.
Oh, Mamba with the over on the Raiders. No way.
Yeah. It's them and the Broncos. It's kind of like the Cardinals and the 49ers, right? Like,
oh, you went back and forth
those
on
two
that.
teams in that division. It's like the Broncos, their defense is solid, right? And they just added Russell Wilson. They extended Russell Wilson. Their running backs, solid. Their wide receivers, solid. Like they're a solid team, just like the Raiders. And unfortunately for the Broncos, I also gave them under because 10.5, bro. 10.5.
We're gonna get to that. Finish up with the Raiders. Oh boy.
You got the over, don't you?
On the Raiders, yes, I have the over on the Raiders. Wow, I'm so shocked. I thought 8.5. This makes me feel like Miami. I feel like these were too easy. I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's absolutely. They were 9. Yeah, they were 9-8 last season, I believe. Through all the shit that they went through, they only got a better receiver in Devontae Adams to go alongside Hunter Renfrow. And, hey, Max.
What it is, bro. Is what it is.
They traded to get Rockyan Singh also over from the Colts, so they added to their secondary. Traded away Trevor Mullins to get a draft pick, got rid of Alex Leatherwood. But this sort of
first round pick from like 2 years ago, if that.
No, last year rookie.
Look at that.
17th or 19th overall pick. Terrible decision. But I got him on the over. I think Josh McDaniels is going to scheme up some nice offensive plays where this team is going to have to look a little bit like Cincinnati last year, where the defense just has to play well situationally because the offensive side of the ball is going to be rather explosive. Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller are going to just have a field day having Devontae Adams out there. And then vice versa, Devontae Adams is going to be very happy. He's playing with probably two of the best players offensively that isn't named Aaron Rodgers that he's ever played with to get tons of attention off him.
Yeah.
So big on that. I have a lot of faith that the Raiders can at least win 9 games.
I'm glad because I don't.
I see that.
No, but like it is very possible they win 9 and move on to the Broncos. I said under 10.5.
Under 10.5. Too many wins for you.
And you said
I went the over. The addition of Russell Wilson running the offense. We'll have to see where Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton rank in wide receiver duos now that Tim Patrick is going to be down, but there's a lot of hope that KJ Hamler will be a guy. Obviously Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon in the backfield should do something. On the flip side of things, obviously have Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain, also have just signed D Ford, Randy Gregory to the offensive line. Still have Bradley Chubbs on the defensive side of the ball. Defense only got better. Massive upgrade at quarterback. We had talked about it before. All they were ever missing was a quarterback.
Yep.
And I think this is a prime position for Broncos country. Let's ride.
Had they said 9.5, I would have said over. But
how about 10?
Definitely 10. I think they can get at least 10.
Fair enough.
10.5. I'm not going over because I don't think they're going to 11. Maybe, but nah.
Continuing onward, we have arguably the best team of the AFC over the last 3 or 4 seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs. Losing Tyreek Hill on offense and losing the Honey Badger on defense, they are still at a 10.5 point, 10.5 games over under Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid.
It's over.
It's
over, bro. I can't be that disrespectful. I can't be like, it's an under because 10. This team, they're gonna win, and they're gonna win
games
a lot, So give them at least 11, I guess.
Agreed. I'm at the over on this. Although I've said this, I don't know if they have the best. They probably have the third or fourth running game. They probably have the third or fourth defense, but their offense is just I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. I went with the over, I guess, in a way to play it safe. It's tough to bet against that offense, that quarterback. I'm still love Travis Kelce. He's going to obviously be a big part. Might lead the league in a lot of fantasy categories this year at tight end.
I wanted him in the second, bro.
To look at. But yeah, I'm gonna go the over on that one. It's going to be an interesting season nonetheless for Kansas City. Obviously, the offensive weapons, as discussed about before, reminds me a lot of Green Bay, where it's a lot of young guys, a lot of fresh faces. What are the Sky Moores, Justin Rosses, Juju Smith-Schusters? What are these guys all going to do? There's another guy, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is the other guy that I'm thinking of. Yeah. They just have all these different guys that are going to play multiple different roles, so it is going to be interesting.
Hey, Juju, I got one thing to say to you.
Are we
less TikTok, more catching the ball?
Maybe.
I need it.
Maybe. He got a massive quarterback upgrade, so we'll see. We shall see. And then to wrap things up, we have the team that everyone is falling in love with because there's a young quarterback by the name of Justin Herbert on the roster. The young Los Angeles Chargers, on paper, a lot of experts are saying are one of the best rosters in the NFL.
I'm not a damn expert, and I'll tell you that.
Bringing Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson to pair with Derwin James and Mr. Joey Bosa. Obviously, already having Justin Herbert there to pair with Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Jared Cook, Josh Palmer. The list sort of goes on and on. Offensive line is obviously taking a massive upgrade over the last 2 seasons with the addition of Corey Linsley. And who's the tackle?
Slater?
The tackle, yes. Rashawn Slater, absolute beast. And even with all that, 10.5 games is half game too many for me. I got to give the Chargers at a 10-7 record.
Yep. Yes, sir. It's tough, yo. Looking at these games with like the 10.5s and the 9.5s for like the Titans, the Chargers, the Broncos, even the Raiders at 8.5, it's like, dude, this is probably like the baseline. Like, take away that half, that is probably the baseline of how many wins that team should get.
There was the teams that gave me a lot of issues when it came down to those were anyone with like the Steelers on record, because we just talked about the Steelers can go either way. The Jags, who I had over, I feel like are going to steal some wins here and there.
I hope they do.
They're going to be an interesting team. And then I also have to factor in where Deshaun Watson comes back and when he isn't going to be around, because then, that makes it a little bit easier. But there's some teams where it's like, Colts are another team. I'm like, Tennessee, although I said 9, I still looked at them as a team that's like, they're going to give people problems. And I feel like the Chargers are still going to run into a bit of problems. They will play the AFC South. They will be playing those Titans and those Colts. And then the entirety of the AFC West on top of beating the shit out of each other in the first place. They have to play 6 games against each other to start. So when you add that, you got to play Mahomes twice, Herbert twice,
play Russell
twice, or Russell Wilson twice. Then you're going to be having to play Trey Lance, Kyler Murray, Matt Ryan Tannehill, and then Matthew Stafford and the Rams. That division's going to have a lot of tough games. And I just have to go 10-7 on the Chargers. It is tough because it's a lot of people's favorites. Team in this division. Some people have them leapfrogging up to maybe win. Some people, like I said, the experts think they have one of the best rosters on paper. Definitely looks like it.
Because those names on paper, they stand out. That's
They
why.
do. Yes, they do. It's gonna be a doozy this season. Gets kicked off underway tomorrow.
1 hour, pretty much.
It's gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a doozy. We kick off tomorrow, 8:20, Thursday night football. Defending champions, Los Angeles Rams take on the current Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills in an absolute.
Did I have them winning this game or losing this
banger.
game? With my 14-3.
That was another one. I don't know if I feel like I skipped over that game. But that's gonna do it for us. Make sure to tune in on Friday. On Friday, we shall be talking some more outstanding wrestling. A lot of shit going on that we'll be getting addressed real shortly on AEW.
So
and
excited.
WWE is doing their things as we continue to move on forward. Come back here for Wednesday to talk everything that happened week 1 as we recap an outstanding season. We'll see what my Pats do. We'll see what your Saints do. We'll overreact on who looks great, who looks bad already. We'll see if we have super duper early MVP predictions and all the other fun shenanigans that are going to happen here at RGTP. There's only one place to follow and find us. Mamba, what do they got to do?
Like, comment, share, subscribe, notifications on, ring the bell. That's notification. Just do it all.
Do it all. Download the Rave On Sports app. Come hang out with me tomorrow on the chat sidelines for the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be a doozy. Everyone have a good one and have a good night.